Hi everyone, welcome back to GoLocal Live. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. We'd like to welcome in my next guest, Jeff Sullivan, for coming back here into studio.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks for having me.
With the Barker Playhouse hat off and the hat as the co-chair of the Rhode Island chapter of the American Parkinson Disease Association. April is the awareness month for the group, both locally and nationally.
Correct. April is Parkinson's Awareness Month. That's right.
And 3,000 Rhode Islanders affected approximately by Parkinson's.
Yeah, approximately, here in the United States, approximately 1 million people are living with Parkinson's disease, 10 million worldwide, and like you said, 3,000 right here in Rhode Island.
So let's talk a little bit about your involvement as chair and raising awareness. Now, again, to take the month and take this opportunity, let's talk about the work that the chapter does here with local chapters in support, because you have a history and you know that these resources are more recent and so critical.
Well, my wife and I co-chair the organization together, and we decided to get involved in honor of Bonnie's dad, who had lived with Parkinson's for a long time. And 10 years ago, where they lived, they did not have the resources that we have here in Rhode Island. So we became involved, and we saw what a difference this organization is making here locally. We wanted to jump in with both feet. So what kind of resources are available here in Rhode Island? First off, our organization supports 13 local support groups that are spread out all over the state. We have 9 boxing locations, which is very cool. We can talk about more about that in a second. And then we have a respite care program. And the respite care program is very interesting because people that are living with Parkinson's, it's not just the folks that have the symptoms. It can be very difficult on the caregivers too. So what our respite program does is provide resources and financial support for caregivers who frankly need a break. And they need to be able to go to a wedding or go to their grandson's graduation, and we can help with that.
So talk a little bit, you had mentioned I want to go into the boxing program and how important movement is. Because tell folks a little bit about, if they don't know, if they've heard of Parkinson's and they don't know exactly what it entails.
Okay, sure. Well, first off, Parkinson's is a movement disorder, and symptoms can come on for people generally over the age of 50. Folks have symptoms of Parkinson's, although about 10% of the folks have what's called early onset, and that's when the symptoms start prior to age 50. Motor symptoms can include tremors, which are usually considered uncontrollable rhythmic shaking, stiffness of movement, rigidity of muscles, difficulty communicating. Those are the motor symptoms. Non-motor symptoms would include sleep disorders, anxiety, nervousness, constipation, those kinds of things. And so it's progressive and it's chronic, which means over time symptoms get worse.
So how does boxing play into sort of the treatment and alleviation and basically addressing folks with Parkinson's?
Well, you know, the boxing is really cool. I met a woman from South County. Her name was Pat. She's 70 years old. She's been living with Parkinson's for a while. And she was telling when she started to learn how to box, her quality of life just increased tenfold. And I don't know the ins and outs of how the boxing works, but what we hear is learning how to box helps people manage their symptoms. It gives them more confidence throughout the day, and it's really cool.
And so let's talk a little bit, there's a number of events coming up throughout the summer and the fall as well to help support, again, the chapter.
Well, you know, there are, and there's a lot of things that, you know, that we do to support people living with Parkinson's. We can't do it alone. We can't do it without help from people, both time and money. So we have 3 events coming up over the course of the summer. The first one is in just a couple of weeks. It's called the Run for the Rose Gala. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza in Warwick on Friday, May 3rd. We're honoring 2 longtime board members, Bruce and Elaine Belvin, who've been board members on the APDA for 20 years and have done an amazing job helping us support people living with Parkinson's. Run for the Roses, it's a Kentucky Derby theme, right? Yeah. So we encourage men to wear bow ties, dress in seersucker suits. The women will wear fancy hats. It'll be a great night. Dining, dancing, mint juleps. So we really look forward to people there. A couple weeks later, we have our 12th annual Optimism Golf Tournament held at Quinnesset Country Club. That event is going to honor legendary URI coach Tom Brennan. So your donation for that event includes a 2-hour pro clinic, lunch, 18 holes with cart, prime rib dinner, that kind of thing. And Quinnesset's a great course. And you don't have to be a scratch golfer to play at Quinnesset. You can get out there and hack it up like the rest of us. And then last but not least is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and that is the Optimism Walk and 12K held at Goddard Park on September 7th. And sponsorship for these events is very important, and I want to thank Navigant Credit Union for being a major sponsor of the golf tournament. We want to thank MetLife right here in Warwick for being the presenting sponsor of the walk. But the gala, however, we're still in need of a sponsorship. So if there's anybody watching today that would like more information on how to become a sponsor, please visit our website, APDA Parkinson /community/Rhode Island, or you can also contact the folks at the APDA Parkinson Center at Kent County Hospital right here in Warwick.
Well, I appreciate your taking the time to come in with this being an awareness month to let folks know a little bit more, again, what the chapter does for those who are facing Parkinson's here. And before we let you go, Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to share with viewers while we have you here in studio?
Well, just if you want to get involved, if you want more awareness, visit our website, call the Parkinson Center.
Well, I appreciate it. Jeff Sullivan, co-chair of the American Parkinson Disease Association here in Rhode Island. I'd like to thank your wife as well.
Great.
Thank you for coming in
Thank
today.
you, Kate. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So won't go anywhere. We're going to be back with our last guest here on GoLocal Live.